just took a nap. So
I just got up from one and I'm still exhausted. What's up, everybody? I'm Allie Burns from Picks Parlays, and we're taking naps because we are working around the clock to come up with free college basketball picks and premium college basketball picks for all of our viewers. It's that time of year, y'all. It's March. So today we're doing a college basketball total chaos. We've got 5 games that are happening this Wednesday, March the 16th. These 3 knuckleheads are going to let me know if they're going over or under the total. But before we get started, I need everyone to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. And then also take a peek up there. The official sponsor for Picks and Parlays for the entire month of March is Caesars Sportsbook, and they want to hook you guys up, right? So they've got a promo up to $1,100 in first bet insurance. So if you're a new account, just get hooked up with Caesars. Find the link in the description of this video, or just go to the app and use the promo code MORNINGCZR. That's going to get you up to $1,100 in insurance. Everybody needs a little bit of that at this time of year. So with me today, I've got the Winners and Whiners crew. Chris King, you're kind of wrecking shop and stuff. You were 5-0 last week. How you feeling about this, Chris?
Well, I mean, some of these games are not the most entertaining to look at. I'm big concerned with Florida, Mike White leaving. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Gators respond this week.
Yep. Yes, indeed. Scott Reichel, you were 3-2 last week on the show. How you feeling today?
feels pretty good. I mean, Chris King was on the ultimate heat. He was on the ultimate heater, so I can't really catch up with that. But, anytime you can have a profitable time on the show, I'm not going to complain about it. But, yeah, now I'm in Vegas, so I guess it could be worse.
Hey, you're at the MGM, right?
Yes.
Okay, we got to hook up while you're here. I know you're leaving before the Picks and Parlays meet and greet, but it'd be great to meet up and have a drink, maybe do like a promo shot or two,
I'm here for St. Patty's, so you already know what that means.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it means he just passed legal age last week.
Oh my gosh.
Last weekend, I don't know, 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years, whatever. But
it's amateur hour, but I have so many friends in town. I have to go out for St. Patrick's Day. I'm like dragging my feet to do it. It's going to be a blast, but it gets live here in Las Vegas. Scott Steehn, 2-3 for you, sir. I expected more. I'm not going to lie. I expected more.
I did too. It's one of those situations where we all join up here and Chris asks, which one of you is coming in second? So that's kind of the heater that he was on last week. And my God, it carried over into the parlay, into the totals as well. I say it comes to an end today. I'm
hoping so, because I need to come back to the mean a little bit and have you guys feel better about yourselves.
Like the red butt gorilla, I'm here to assert my dominance.
All right. I like that. I like that spirit. Let's go.
Of course, that will get stomped on by a Tyrannosaurus that somehow came out of the past. And then he'll have to,
Stehn's in a bounce back spot right now. Stehn's in a bounce back. Chris King's in a letdown spot. That's what's happening right now.
And I'm just chilling. I'm somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, you're maybe in a look ahead spot. We've got a bounce back, a letdown, and a look ahead. That's what's going on. All right, let's see what happens. Like I said, we're going through 5 college hoops games that are going down on Wednesday. They're going to tell me if they go over or under the total. Whoever gets the most correct becomes the total chaos champion. Chris King, because you are the current champ, you're going to go first with Northern Iowa, 149 at St. Louis. What do you think?
Good. This number didn't move, so that works for me, because I'm going to say it's going to go under, because as good as Northern Iowa has been offensively, we just watched them score 43 points against Loyola Chicago in a game where A.J. Green was 4 of 20 from the field. Now, St. Louis is not as good defensively as Loyola Chicago, but they're still above average. They only give up 67.5 points a game. And I think that, Northern Iowa is a bit let down after losing in the MVC tournament. They're not going to be overly up for this game. They're not going to break 70 points. And the Billikens won't need to rack up 80-plus to win. So I think this one's going to fall under 149. I think it's going to fall somewhere maybe in the low 140s.
All right. Scott Reichel, what do you think about this one?
I agree. I'm on the under. I think that the team relies a little bit too much on A.J. Green, which was the point that Chris was suggesting. So if he has an off game, I doubt they're going to score more than, let's just say, 75. But the main issue that I feel like being a little bit underrated is the fact that Northern Iowa did get blown out in the conference tournament. They have not played since March 5th. So I do question how big of a deal that's going to be when you haven't played in a week plus. Are you going to be extremely flat? How's that going to work out? I do wonder with that long layoff, because remember, they're playing like once every, I don't know, 2-3 days throughout a couple months. Now they're off for double-digit days. It's not a great spot there, and 3 of St. Louis's last 4 games have gone under. This total seems a bit too high. Chris is seeing eye to eye on this one with me. I think this line's somewhere in the low 140s.
All right. I really like when a team hasn't played in a while, I like to take the other team first half. So St. Louis first half -2, the money line might be a look. What do you think about this one, Scott Steehn?
Yeah, I got to agree with the other two. I like how Reichel said Chris is on it with me, even though he went second. But
I was trying to be grammatically correct.
How are you not set up with like Vegas in the background? I still say you're at a Days Inn in Terre Haute. That's what that.
I mean, I could literally just pick up the camera and just show you the actual view that I have. But
no, that room screams Terre Haute.
I've got the under here. This is a St. Louis team that when their games tend to go over, it tends to be when they are big favorites and they blow people out. When they are with either side of 5, it's 5 or less, or catching 5, they average just 140 points in those games. They don't allow much from 3-point land. Of course, Northern Iowa are not a big 3-point team, but I don't think they're going to be able to have much success at all from that front. And on Northern Iowa, I think somebody touched on this as well. They have been trending under lately. 5 of their last 7 have cash for the unders. I like the under 149 there.
All right, beautiful. So we all agree. And when they all agree, those are the consensus plays, and those are typically worth the most money. We're going to move on to Kent State at Southern Utah. Reichel, you're going first with a 140.5.
I found this one to be the trickiest one because you look at the trends from both teams and they completely contradict each other. But I'm going to go with the under on this one. Kent State's a very solid defensive team. Ranks 111th in defensive efficiency, also ranks 245th in offensive tempo. It's one of those spots where I'm not exactly sure why Kent State is on the road in this one. I mean, they got hosed in their conference title game, and now they have to travel to Southern Utah, which I find a little bit weird. But at the end of the day, I do think that you will see this game be pretty competitive, as the spread suggests. I think it'll be close, competitive, and I think that Kent State will slow the pace down throughout to try to prevent Southern Utah from running. I'm going to go with the under.
All right, Mr. Steehn, what are you thinking about it?
Yeah, this is another Kent State team that if you look back, they put up some pretty big numbers, but most of those have been in blowout games. When they go up against good teams, the under's 12-3 versus teams with winning records. And I think the most important fact for me in this one is Southern Utah is going to be missing their leading scorer in Tevion Jones. I'm not sure how that offense is going to adjust. This is a Kent State defense that plays better than you think. They're 110th in Ken Palm. Southern Utah doesn't play a lot of defense, but I think they'll be able to play enough, and I don't think they're going to generate much offensively. I say this one stays under 140 as well.
All right. The champ, what's your take on this one? You cruising in the same bus, or you getting on your own?
I've got to agree with him. I mean, if you look at the last 5 games for both those teams, Kent State only ever saw an average total of 134.2. For Southern Utah was 144, and like Scott said, that's when Tevion Jones was playing. Without him, you have to wonder if they're going to come anywhere near their average offensively, which was 78.4 points per game in the regular season. Like Reichel said, Kent State, they shouldn't even be here, number one. They probably should have won the MAC tournament had we not had the conference intervene at the last second and suspend Malik Jacobs for the first half of the conference title game. I think that was just to push the Zips into the tournament for no apparent reason. Right. But yeah, I'm gonna think this is gonna end up somewhere in the mid to high 130s and fall just short of the mark.
They couldn't get Kent State a home game, really?
I like Kent
home
State
game.
Here.
I'm pretty sure that boils down to can you put enough, to quote Tony Schiavone, put enough butts in the seats, because that's what it's all about with these, and Kent State, after getting deflated in the MAC title game, I don't think they were gonna have people come out to watch it because they're still pissed off.
That's a good. I do like Kent. I don't understand why the line's moving the way I saw it at 1.5 plus 1.5 at Southern Utah. Now it's down to a 1. So I don't dig how that line is moving, but I do like Kent State there on the money line.
I'm guessing it's motivation. I'm assuming that people are expecting Kent State after that being that close and then losing. They might just throw in the towel. I think it's a motivation question.
That's fair. Okay, so we got Long Beach State at BYU. This number's 152. Scott Steehn, you're going first.
Well, there might be so much drama in the LBC, but I don't think there's going to be much in Utah. This BYU defense, very good, 56th in defensive efficiency, according to our buddy Ken Palm. And they play even better at home. They allow just 40.4% from the field on their home court. Now, Long Beach is another team that doesn't shoot a ton of threes, but when they do, I think they're going to find a very good Cougar defense. Once again, I think we're snoozing over here. Everybody's agreeing, and so far, all of them gone under. I've got the under 152. I just don't think Long Beach is going to be able to contribute much here.
All right, I'm not opposed to this at all. What do you got on it, Chris King?
I agree with Scott. I mean, if you look all season long, Long Beach State, for as up-tempo of a team they were, they only averaged 146.3 for a total. BYU is at 141.6. And in the last 5, those numbers dropped to 137 for Long Beach State, 136.6 for BYU. Like Scott said, BYU is a good defensive team. Long Beach State isn't, but I don't think BYU is going to drag this one over the line. They're not going to score 85 or 90 points.
Mm-hmm.
So this one's going to fall short.
All right. Other Scott, what do you got?
This is like the least chaotic show of all time. I like the under too. I have to.
Total snooze fest.
I have to.
NASCAR show.
I was tempted by the over last night because it was 149, but now it's up to 152. At this point, I got to like the under. I'm just looking at Long Beach State's games against competent defenses out of their conference. They scored 79 against UCLA in the second game of the season, which is impressive. Then played Murray State, had 43. Played San Diego State, had 47. And played USC and scored 62. So let's say they end up scoring around 65. That means I'm penciling BYU in for a hell of a game. I don't see that happening. I got to go with the under.
All right. I mean, I see BYU having a good game. They play in front of that crowd really well, but I agree. I think this stays. I think their defense is part of what they hang their hat on, and they're going to want to shout that out to all their people. Iona's at Florida. It's a 145.5. Who's up? I think it's Chris King again. What do you got?
I'm sticking with the under here. I mean, I've looked at the numbers. You look and see Florida was a middle-of-the-pack team offensively at 70.8 points a game. They good defensively at 66.1. Iona, they were good offensively all season. They were 65th, but I have to wonder what Rick Pitino's team has in the tank at this point, considering just like Northern Iowa, they haven't played in a while, and they lost in the first round to Rider in the MAC conference tournament. Everybody penciled, Iona to be playing in March Madness. They're not. On the flip side, what's Florida going to do with Al Pinkins? How are they going to respond with him after Mike White left? You look at the last 5, Iona's only scored an average total of 138.4. Florida's gone over this number at 153.6, but that's mainly because they couldn't play defense and they had to play Kentucky. They had that game with Texas A&M that went to overtime. I just think that Florida, with the fact that they're 292nd in tempo at 65 possessions a game playing at home, they're going to grind this one out. It's going to end up probably about 138 or so and end up under this number.
I feel like guys should get bonus points if you can call it exactly on the number. What do you got on this one, Michelle?
I got the under. I mean, this is just ridiculous. I mean
it's not ridiculous if we win. These are all the right picks. That it's not.
I'm just
ridiculous
saying we might have
all.
to change. We might have to change the name to the Total Under Show. Like we're gonna have to figure something out. But
The
either way,
Undertaker.
I kind of have to like it just because of the fact that each team is 18-14 to the under this season. Florida ranks 80th in defensive efficiency. Iona ranks 108th. Florida also really slow, ranks 292nd in pace. So I do think it'll try to force Iona to play in the half court. And we talked about it before. Florida doesn't have a coach. And I really have to wonder how this team's going to look. So if I don't know how sharp a team's going to be without its head coach, and that might lead to some motivational questions, I can't take an over. So I'm going to go with the under.
All right, Scott Steehn, are you getting in the bus?
Just take an over. Just take an over. Do it.
I was really tempted when you looked at the last 4 games, Florida giving up 77.2, but one of those was in overtime. Of course, one of them was against Georgia. They gave up 72 to Georgia. That's troubling.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Iona's 4-1 to the under as a dog. The last 9 on 7-2 under, and the Florida under 12-5 at home. God, shoot me now. I've got the under as well.
And I mean, if you look at that too, in that game against Auburn that they had right before that last 5-game stretch, they only gave up 62 at home. And Auburn's a pretty damn good offensive team.
Yep.
That's true. Facts. Okay, so last one for the round. I'm going to ask you all to come up with, out of our list, because it looks like we're going to have a 3-way tie here. If that is the case, I'm going to ask you all to come up with your number 1 best bet, and we're going to go in the order of of your ranking. So Chris, Reichel, and Steehn, you can't copy. We've got Notre Dame at Rutgers. It's a 132.
Wow, you already put my answer up there. That made it easy.
I didn't mean to. I click. You know how like you click your banners get flipped around sometimes? That's what happened to my banner. Okay, wait. Boom. There we go. There we go. We're fine now. Okay, what do you got?
Go ahead, Reichel. You're on the screen.
Go ahead, Reichel. Yeah.
I was going to me. Sorry. I'm going to be different. Screw it. Give me the over. I can't take a full show with unders. I can't do it. But I think both teams offensively should end up having some success. Notre Dame ranks 29th in offensive efficiency, while Rutgers does rank 107th. Now, the defenses are pretty good here, but you're looking at a pretty low total, especially with these March Madness games where you could see a lot of late fouling situations if the game should be somewhat close. And this game will be close, but 132 is a number that I do think might be a little bit too low. I think one of these teams has a good chance of getting to about 68 or 70. So I do think that you might be looking at a decent spot for this game to find a way over. Slight over 135.
All right. It's 132 is the number. So
that's what I'm saying. I think it's going to land like 135.
Oh, what? In my head, it was like 131.5.
That's what I'm saying. Slightly over. I'll say 135.
Don't pay attention to me. I'm just here to look pretty. I'm just here so I don't get fined. Okay. Scott Steehn, what's your look on this one?
Well, the only thing I've guaranteed is I will be in last place next week again, regardless of the result. So I couldn't be happier about that. But I'm going with Reichel. I've got the over 132 here as well. Notre Dame, very good offense, 29th in offensive efficiency, and they've been trending upwards over the last month or so. Their last 8. And haven't hit the under. They've gone 7-0-1 as far as going over the total, and they haven't been capping their totals particularly well. They've gone over by an average of 7.5 points per game in that 8-game stretch. Yes, Rutgers plays very good defense, not bad offensively. I think this one goes over the 132. I'll say, you know what? Give me lucky 140. I say that's where it lands.
I already know Chris is taking the under. So
75-60.
Yep, you're right. I am taking the under because let's face it, in the last 5 down the stretch, Rutgers was abysmal offensively. They averaged 64.4 points a game. Even with their defense, that number barely got over this total. It got to 132.8. Both teams don't run. Notre Dame's 250th in tempo at 65.7 possessions game. Rutgers is 289th at 64.9. And you have to take into consideration Notre Dame has no depth to speak of. They go 7 deep, and that's it. They've only had 7 guys play all season. If they get in foul trouble, they're going to have some serious issues. I just don't see Notre Dame doing a ton offensively. I don't see Rutgers doing a ton offensively. And you have to think neither one of these teams have been in the tournament with any kind of success in a while. Rutgers has been brutal.
They should have beaten Houston last year, but they choked it.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda, didn't.
Easy. That's my.
They won a game. They won a game last year. That counts for something.
But Steve Piquel's team, they rely too much on Ron Harper. If Cliff Omarui struggles again, or Geo Baker, it just doesn't look good offensively for Rutgers. You look at their numbers, like I said, down the stretch. Who did they play that they did nothing against?
Everybody in conference play.
I love this Rutgers team.
They scored 59 against Penn State. They scored 66 against Indiana. They scored 61 against Wisconsin, 62 against Michigan in the 4 final regular season games before they put 74 on Iowa. But that's because Iowa is a team that wants to be in a track meet. Notre Dame's not going to be in a track meet. It's just not going to happen. I know that Notre Dame scored a bunch of points lately, but look who they played. They played Syracuse, who everybody scores on. They played Georgia Tech, who anybody can beat up. They put 70 on Florida State in a game where I picked them to win, and they lost.
Okay, so you're biased. Okay, cool.
Then they put up 78 against Pittsburgh, who everybody beats up on too. And then they got outgunned by Virginia Tech because Virginia Tech is an explosive offensive team that is very efficient. This is going to be a rock fight. And I think it's going to end up probably about 128, 130. And it's going to stay under the number.
Yep, 64-64.
64-64. All right. I like
I was going to say 65-63, but
Okay.
So you were close. I like that. Okay.
Well, I'm guessing you're picking Notre Dame to win because you don't like Rutgers.
I love Rutgers.
No, I don't like Notre Dame.
Oh, so you don't like either team?
Exactly.
Okay, so you're really between a rock and a hard place there.
To put it,
Maybe just lay off it. You
to
don't
put
have
up
to
my
bet every
favorite
game.
my favorite quote. I'm not biased. I hate everybody equally.
Okay,
Right.
fair enough.
That's fair. All right, so we're going to do a little bit of recap. And again, I'm Allie Burns from Picks and Parlays. You can find me on Twitter at +moneyhoney. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. And don't forget about the Caesars Sportsbook promo. The link is in the description. Get your $1,100 in first bet insurance, or just use that promo code MORNINGCZR when you show up to Caesars. Let me introduce you guys real quick to the Winners and Whiners crew. They'll let you know where you can find them throughout the week. Chris King, our champion, where can we find you if we want more of your free picks?
Well, you usually find me right after your show because we come on at 2:00, just parlays with myself and Jim Williams. Or you can catch me on Winners and Whiners. I'm usually writing about pretty much everything under the sun because somebody's got to do it because these two other guys don't.
I write. What are you talking about? I got an article to do after this.
What, one? Congratulations.
Yeah,
That's got to be a
one
record.
today. Huge one. It's messing with my Vegas plans.
Woo! All right, Reichel, where can we find you throughout the week?
So you can find me on Twitter at Reichel Radio, REICHEL Radio. Besides that, doing the Back to the Window show with Scott Steehn every weekday. Also a bit flustered because Kyrie just scored 41 points in the first half, and I'm really not sure how to respond to that. 41
intense.
points in the half.
Well, that's kind of, well, it's Orlando, so.
That's a little
They
much.
have 86 as a team, though. They're on pace for 172.
All right, I took the Nets to win minus 9.5 points. So
Beautiful. Nice bet. Scott Steehn, where can we find you throughout the week?
Well, I'm the other half of the Back to the Window crew. We do that every day, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 Central over there on the YouTubes, on the Winners and Whiners YouTube channel, as well as the Max Wagers Network. And you can find me on Twitter at Stehnroller, STEHNROLLER. There you go.
I know I didn't put your you guys' Twitter things in here today, so I apologize for that. But yeah. There, yeah, I just popped it in at Steamroller, at Reichel Radio, and Chris King is at Betting Royalty.
That's correct.
You're a little full of yourself there. I'm just saying.
It's a play off the name.
No, I'm just kidding with you.
Off of Chris?
I'm teasing with you. Chris King, I get it. I'm with you. I'm all for it. Okay, so let's do some recapping. So yeah, find these guys. They are on Twitter. They are on YouTube. Find the Winners and Whiners channel. Subscribe to it. And especially subscribe to the Max Wagers Network. Winners and Whiners and Picks and Parlays have combined to form a super Voltron of sports betting free picks. All right, so subscribe to the Max Wagers Network. Here's the recap.
Kudos to anybody that bet on her using Voltron in this promo.
If you watch Morningwood, that would have been at minus money. you know me a little better. That would have been a minus money bet right there. Okay, so Northern Iowa at St. Louis, 149, and they're all taking it under. Now, remember, when they all agree, those tend to be the moneymakers on the show. We've got Kent State at Southern Utah, 140.5. They're all going under. Long Beach State at BYU, same jazz, under taking it. Iona's at Florida, 145.5. Under. Get on your surprise face. Notre Dame is at Rutgers. It's a 132. The Scots are going over. Chris King is going under. Do you guys want to give me a best bet just for fun?
Out of these 5?
Okay, maybe not. Well, we're not going to have a tie. So, I mean, the 2 Scots might tie, but at least it won't be a 3. We will have a winner.
Yeah, I'm saying nobody cares if Scott and I tie because we're in second and third place right now. So nobody really cares. It's fine.
Well, I do. What if you guys are 5-0 and then he's 4-1, and then you know what? Now
they're basing it off previous record. They'll still be
rock paper scissors. Figure it out. Flip a coin.
That's not how total chaos works, and I'd appreciate
it's the most chaotic way to decide it.
Me how to do my show. Okay?
The most chaotic way to decide the winner would be a coin toss. Just saying.
Or, I don't know, give a free pick that cashes money.
Could be. Or you could pick.
Talking out loud here.
Be as biased as you want.
I'm kidding.
You can pick whichever one you want.
I'm kidding. As long as we're not in a tie situation, it is all good to go. That's how we're going to roll with it. Good luck to you, gentlemen. Thank you so much for being on the show. Don't forget, after Morningwood, my show at 1 p.m. Eastern, you're going to roll into Just Parlays with Chris King at 2 p.m. Eastern, and then you're going to roll into, I don't know why I can't figure out where you guys are, to Back to the Window with Scott and Scott at 3 p.m. Eastern, all laid out for you on the Max Wagers Network. Good luck, guys. Thanks for coming on, and may the best capper win.
Thanks, Alan. We'll see you next week.
Yep.
Bye, guys.